early July, there's a delicate fruit that grows in central Serbia. It doesn't take well to being picked by machines or clumsy fingers. Čvrkić has been growing raspberries for 25 years. They taste delicious and they're good for the health.
Taka, ona je nežna I kao biljka I voli pažnju.
5 years ago, daughter-in-law Milica came from the city to work as a harvest helper on Shana's family farm. She fell in love with the eldest son and stayed. Until then, Milica only knew country life from what she'd seen on TV.
Ja sam prvi put došla tad na selo I tad sam prvi put videla I kravu I sve životinje sam tad prvi put videla I ipak sam odlučila da ostanem.
The family provides for itself, keeps animals and grows crops and vegetables. And they only cook with products that they grow on their own farm. Stuffed zucchini, Đuveč rice, raspberry strudel, and the sweet speciality, Slatko. The hilly terrain of central Serbia is known for its fruit production. The sunny slopes are lined with orchards. Plums, grapes, and raspberries grow especially well in this rich terrain. Jana and her husband Rajko tend several small raspberry fields not far from their farm.
Posle ove zadnje kiše ima opet kolojed.
Slatke.
The raspberry is a fussy fruit. It does best at an altitude of 500 meters, where the nights are cold and the days very warm. It's these differences in temperature that make raspberries so sweet. They take 40 days to ripen fully, and only then are they harvested.
Ako ima maline, mogu dosta da je naberem I volim da je berem. Nežno I onako neće da se otkine, onda je treba ostaviti, znači da nije zrela.
In the last 2 years, the family has been feeling the effects of climate change. Frequent and severe storms are particularly hard on the raspberries.
Nama je se desilo da je I prošla godina I ova godina teška. Prošle godine nas je ubio grad, tako da nismo imali ništa. I zato su I ovaki lastari, jer je grad oštetio. I onda ove godine kada je ona krenula, bio je mraz. I onda je tu stagnirao I tako je I ostala, ali opet izradio.
The Čvrkić family farm is perched on a hill on Mount Kablar. Milica is a trained cook. Every day in the harvest season, the 21-year-old prepares a raspberry surprise for the family. Today, it's a raspberry strudel as a break-time snack for Shana and Rajko.
Mi u kući pravimo baš dosta stvari jer nam je omiljeni proizvod svima, omiljena voćka. Pravimo pite, pravimo slatko, džem, sladoled, sok, sirup, svašta.
A spoonful of semolina binds the juices in the fruits and keeps the strudel crispy. A little vanilla sugar rounds off the flavor. She has little time to bake, so Milica uses store-bought puff pastry. The strudel tastes equally good made with blackberries, apples, or sour cherries. Milica cuts the strudel into pieces before baking. The cold dough is easier to cut. After 3 hours, Shana and Rajko have picked almost all of the ripe fruit. It's the last harvest day of the year.
Hej! Kako ste?
Dobro smo.
Ima li maline?
Evo, ima.
Hoćemo li na pauzu?
Hoćemo.
Donela sam malo posluženje. Vidi, da li je dobra ispala. Ja mislim da je okej. Mislim da je kao tvoja.
Odlično.
Posluženje.
Hvala.
The ideal raspberry strudel is crispy, moist, and only a little sweet.
Baš je dobra pita.
Jesmo. Doći ću.
Fina.
Kako je bila danas berba?
Dobro.
Jeste li zadovoljni?
Da.
Dobro, jeste
Za
zvali
zadnje
Ivana?
branje, da. Jesmo.
Koliko
Čak sam-
ćemo imati sve ukupno?
Pa izgleda negdje oko 600 kila.
Super. Pa ova kiša nam je baš pomogla.
The Čvrkić family farm is home to 4 generations. 73-year-old Nevka moved in with her daughter Shana after she retired. Every family member has their duties. Nevka mostly takes care of the animals and pitches in whenever she's needed. Milica is in the garden, searching for especially large zucchini for lunch. These are well suited for stuffed zucchini as well as zucchini fritters.
Evo, nabrala sam tikvica.
Super, ja sam počela da ljuštim.
Ove su nam dobrodošle. Koliko ta jedna ima kila?
Ova ima blizu 3.
Ja kad sam ih nosila imala sam utisak da imaju 50.
Meni je ovo najlakše kašika.
Larger zucchini are firm, with lots of pulp and little water, ideal for stuffing.
Može i ovako da se puni, da se samo stavlja ovako unutra kao paprike, ali meni je lakše kad prepolovim i stavim da legne jer preko stavljam kačkavalj, zato što mi tako volimo da jedemo sa kačkavaljem.
The flesh is firm enough to hold its shape in the oven. Like her daughter-in-law, Shana moved from the city to the country 25 years ago.
Ništa mi nije bilo teško da započnem. Ni krave, ni... Ništa, ni životinje, ništa. Čak ni krompir da kupim, sadim sa njom. Sve.
Ona je sigurnija od mene, otišla bi ona davno da joj se ne dopada.
Volim.
Ne bi ostala 25 godina.
For the stuffing, Milica fries onion and carrot together with ground mince from her own pigs. Those pigs are fed with homegrown feed, no pesticides. The meat is full of flavor, and Milica seasons only lightly. Besides paprika, just a little garlic powder and homemade vegetable stock. The stuffed zucchini boats go into the oven for half an hour. Milica's method of choice, a final sprinkle of cheese at the end of baking for added aroma and depth. While the zucchini boats are cooking, Milica fries vegetable fritters in sunflower oil. For these, she's mixed grated zucchini with flour, eggs, and a little baking powder. Whenever time allows, the family all try to sit down to lunch together. By day, Milica's husband Sekula is a blacksmith. After work, he helps out on the family fields. His father, Rajko, is also seldom home, making hay, picking fruit, tilling the fields. Lunch is the only break the 63-year-old permits himself. It's the first time that Milica is making stuffed zucchini and zucchini fritters. It's a new combination.
Ajde da probamo šta je lepo. A dobra je kombinacija.
Enjoying lunch together, the family can relax and recharge their batteries for the rest of the day. Summer is a busy time for everyone. The region is well known for the Ovčar-Kablar gorge. The West Morava River has carved a deep passage between the two mountains. The steep slopes are a habitat for many animal and plant species, but also for medicinal herbs, which Shana turns into teas and tinctures. Growing in a particularly inaccessible location is a particularly medicinal plant.
Ima je.
Hoćeš da je nabereš?
Hoću. Evo sad ću da ti oberem i da ti donesem. Ona se zove Iva i ona je bukvalno za sve u organizmu. Pa u kameniti. Samo u kameniti, mi ne treba je čupati jer onda ona nestane, nego je treba sa makazicama šišati.
Hoćemo da beremo hajdučku travu.
Hoće. Evo nam jedna.
Fortunately, the other herbs are somewhat easier to locate. At the edge of the woods is horehound, useful for respiratory ailments. And on the meadows, St. John's wort, which Shana turns into an oil.
Pa ovo treba ranije, dok je cvet da bi se napravilo katarionovo ulje. A poslije onaj ostatak ćemo vezati i ostavimo da se suši za čaj.
After the summer heat, the St. John's wort is already very dry. Shana gets to work immediately using cold-pressed olive oil. She prefers the wilted flower heads that have already formed seed capsules. These contain the highest concentrations of anti-inflammatory compounds.
Pa moja mama je, na primjer, izlečila, imala je tu suvu kožu koja je pucala. Može za sve. Mala beba nam je bila nokat zajebala, mi smo mazali sa tim i to je prošlo. Onda rane isto sve, baš je bukvalno za kožu.
After 40 days in a warm place, the oil develops its full healing strength. In the afternoon, everybody gets to work. Rajko sees to the hay, and Nevka, the animals. Tomorrow, Shana and Milica plan to make Slatko preserve and juice using some of today's harvest. The preparations for this begin today.
Jesi gotova?
Evo za 5 minuta i donosim ti.
Važi.
For a Slatko, the fruits must cook in their own juice, with lots of sugar. Milica chooses only the finest and firmest raspberries that will hold their shape when cooked.
Evo, donela sam, prebrala sam sve.
Dobro, ove druge mi ostavi za sok.
Važi, sad ću da donesem.
Shana lines up the raspberries with care, fruit by fruit, and always upright.
Pa da bi se one napunile šećerom i da šećer njih kristališe i ostane u ovom stanju, a ne da se raspada. Može i koliko hoćeš, ali ja uvek pravim po 2. I uvek mi je to pola kilograma dole, pola kilograma drugi red.
1 kilogram of sugar for each kilogram of fruit. The name says it all. Slatko means sweet. It's a quintessential Serbian delicacy. As a sign of hospitality, it's tradition to welcome guests with a glass of water and a spoonful of Slatko. Every other day, bulk buyer Ivan Todorovic picks up freshly harvested raspberries from Shana's farm and others nearby. For many families in the region, the fruits are an important source of income. Serbia produces an average of 50,000 tons of raspberries every year.
Se u ponedjeljak u svakom slučaju rade će doći, neće ja glasiti.
Kod mene u ponedjeljak mislim da neće brati niko, ali mi za sad samo još Slavica nije javila.
Tako da je rod sigurno za 40 do 50% manji u odnosu na prošlu godinu, koji je već bio prošle godine manji u odnosu na preprošle godine. Tako da mislim da proizvođači nemaju veliki prinos i nemaju neke prihode velike uopšte na ivici rentabilnosti proizvodnje.
To secure their livelihood, farmers are looking for new varieties that can cope with the changing climate. The Čvrkić's family's day begins very early. Shortly after 6, and Nevka feeds the animals and milks the cows. Their milk is another source of income for the family.
Stavi đevđir, pa jeste pa gazu. I onda napravi malu rupicu.
Ovako.
Da, i sipaj po manje soka i cedi.
Milica and Shana are making a syrup from pureed raspberries, mixed with a little sugar and left to stand overnight. A fine mesh cloth is used to strain the fruit, separating juice from the seeds and pulp.
Da li ovo dobro radim? Šta ti misliš? Pre ovaj šporet bio u kući i mi to dok pravimo, bukvalno sve dole bude crveno i šporet i pod, pa smo ga posle izbacili napolje i baš je dug proces.
The syrup makes it easy to benefit from the healing powers of this superfood, even in winter.
Bukvalno leče 1000 nekih bolesti, ali ljudi to ne znaju. Ja imam problem sa herpesom već godinama i ako celo leto jedem ovo, uopšte mi ne izlazi. Dobar je i za ženske probleme što se tiče ženskih organa. Dijareju i za rak i za antioksidans, baš veliki. Mnogo je zdrava.
The strained juice is mixed with sugar and heated briefly.
Na 1 litar ide kilogram šećera. A pošto ja ne volim da ubacujem konzervas ništa, onda moram samo jedan ključ da bi mogao da stoji, da se napravi sirup.
The juice is then immediately poured into heated bottles.
I ovo će bude gusto dok se ohladi. Sada je vruće. Pa kad se ohladi isto će da bude, morat će da se razblažuje sa vodom. Godinu dana sigurno. Duže nismo mogli da procenimo jer popiju.
The sugar-filled raspberries were left to infuse overnight and are now, very carefully, being cooked in their own juice to make Slatko.
Ostanu istog oblika. A ako bi ih što više kuvali, one bi počele da se raspadaju. Znači kad počne onda se sklanjaju sa vatre. I više nema pene. Onda već prelazi u vrenje džema.
Slatko differs from jam in that the fruits remain whole. Milica Kablar Gorge is famed for its dramatic river bends and the Orthodox monasteries that have lined its banks since the 14th century. In the harvest season, Milica and Sekula also work on the weekends, but they do allow themselves a day off every month. A boat excursion on the West Morava includes a visit to the Nicolie Monastery. It's one of the few inhabited monasteries in the gorge, and one of the oldest. The young couple plans to have their daughter Victoria baptized here. They're well acquainted. The family has supported the monastery for generations. But the Mother Superior is yet to meet little Victoria.
Tata, baba, mame nigde, mama samo kad plače malo.
Kad krene da plače, kad viže mama.
Na mene?
Čini mi se, da.
Hvala.
The baptism will be in 2 weeks in the monastery church. At home, Jana is preparing dinner. When there's no help on the farm, she keeps her cooking quick and simple. Đuveč is a rice dish with meat and vegetables. Shana uses whatever she finds in the garden: zucchini, potatoes, beans, and bell peppers.
Ja volim da kad nešto spremam po mome, uvijek bežim iz nekog recepta. Na primjer, ja u Đuveč volim da ubacujem krompir zato što on da aromu brašnjastu.
Shana makes rice for the Đuveč. After frying the onion and chicken, Shana gradually adds the vegetables depending on how long they need to cook. Finally, the grated tomato and the cooked rice. This boils for a few minutes with a little water, then the Đuveč goes into the oven to bake for half an hour. The family can still live off the land, although harvests are steadily declining.
Generalno bih voljela da se posvetim svom restoranu zato što je poljoprivreda ovdje dosta nesigurna, teško je živjeti od nje. Klimatske promjene su katastrofalne, jako utječe na naš posao i na sve čime se do sada smo se bavili. Tako da eto, voljela bih da se malo više posvetim restoranu i svim tim stvarima koje ja volim, zato što su veće mogućnosti i bolje su šanse i prilike. Hoćeš ti, baba? Hoćeš ti?
Ne, to ja.
One day, Milica and her husband will take over the farm. Milica's vision has the family's support. Their hope is that little Victoria will also have a future here.